If it weren't for my ego, I would have quit my first job, I would have never met my mentor, I would have never started my business, and I would have never made the tens of thousands of dollars that I have. That's part of the reason why so many people are bums. They have no money, live below their wants, etc. It's because they think super highly of themselves. They have this massive ego. And I know I said that the reason that I have all of my success is because of my ego. But the reason why most people fail is because they don't have an inwards ego, but they have a more outward type of ego. I'll touch on that in a bit. But most people, when they have no money in their bank account, they won't hop in their car, they won't get on their bike to go deliver some food, they won't wait some tables, they won't do sales, etc. And that's because they think that they're too good for that stuff. And I know you know a few people like that. They have like $300-400 in their bank account, but they don't do anything to actually try and make more money. And it's usually because they think too highly of themselves to go and do any of these types of works. And it's like, no, you're broke. Go and do some work. The other part of this is some people, they start something like, for example, sales or something commission based, where they can make a lot of money in the longer term, but not short term, because they have to learn the skills and they have to build up to get to the point where they can make good money if they give up the short term money for the longer term money. But those people and most other people, they can't even look a month into the future. They're so focused on what's going on today, right now. So they create kind of a debt for their future. If you can't sacrifice today for tomorrow or next year, you're never going to enjoy those next month or year, whatever future period. So on top of having big crazy egos, they also lack long-term thinking. I actually remember the first person that I ever hired, kind of similar to this. We were talking and I told him, hey, if you ever want anything super good in life, you need to be able to give up the short-term things. You need to avoid going into debt today, delving into all these pleasures, etc., and build more for the future. And his response was so stupid. He ended up telling me, yeah, that's true, but I want to focus on the short term now. I'll focus on the long term later. And I remember hearing that and I was like, no way you're seriously right now. And then funny enough, he ended up getting fired a few work days later because he ended up just asking for too much and his work wasn't that good. Last I've heard of him, he's broke. And there's a reason for why that happened to him. He was too focused on the pleasures, not even the long-term pleasures like a nice car, but the super short-term pleasures like instant gratification, instant dopamine from whatever he's doing. That was a little bit of a rant, but I say all that to now ask you, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person who can only think about today and getting what he wants today? Or are you the person who understands that everything you do today will get you the result of where you're going to be in the next year? And the thing is, if you are more of a momentary person, that's okay. I used to be one too a few years back. But the thing is, it's kind of a skill. You can kind of get out of it by just changing the way you think. The easy answer is discipline, but it's less discipline and it's more of what do you want versus what do you not want? Do you want to be fat, lazy, a bum, broke, whatever? Or do you want to be fit, rich? If you want this one, you need to ask yourself, what are the things that I should do today to prepare myself and to get myself into that position in the next 1, 2, 3 years? Because the thing is, these great things, they will never happen overnight. I know there's been so many overnight successes, but they're not actually overnight. They've been doing this stuff for years, that they've been building up for years and years, and then you noticed it once they really blew up, and that's kind of the overnight thing. Except for like lottery winners, but that's the exception to the rule. So either ask yourself, what do I want or what do I not want? Because those are the two things that are going to get you thinking about what you should be doing. And then from those answers, you can pick out what you need to do to get to that answer or to that end goal. So is one of your things that you don't want to be homeless? Then be super rich to the point where no matter what happens, you'll always be able to afford a home. You don't want to die a nobody? Then do something so big on such a large scale that will impact people for generations to come. Think of either kind of a Hitler or kind of a Jesus. Go one of those two directions. And usually the people who you see who are just partying and doing whatever and just purely living life through pleasures, they end up losing it all within a few years, and then they have to restart from zero. And circling back to the very beginning of this, the biggest part of this is ego. Say you had a really big moment. You used to have a bunch of money, you had a big business success, you used to have a lot of status, whatever, but you have none of that now, like you've lost all your money, everything. You are at zero, not where you peaked, not where you want to be, but you are where you're at right now in the moment. So I know don't live in the moment, but you need to understand where you are at the moment to be able to build for the future. And the reason I'm able to tell you this is because I kind of went through the same thing towards the end of my business season. And really quick, if you've been enjoying the video, if you could please subscribe, that would honestly mean so much to me, because the goal is 1,000 before summer. So thank you. So some advice: if you're broke, start something, because you're so lucky to be at zero, because you have nothing to lose mainly. And bonus points if you're living at home and you don't have to pay for any of those things because your parents get to take care of it. Or if you failed at something, because with those you have a really good starting point. And if you're not living at home for free and you need some money, go do something on the side. Like go wait some tables, go knock on some doors, go sell something, go sell some of your own junk, do freelancing, go deliver food for Uber Eats, DoorDash, one of these things that can give you money really quickly. But do something with this essentially being the backbone or the foundation for the bigger goal that you have in mind. And by no means should we be broke, bums, or losers, and at the same time thinking of ourselves as important or high or anything else that we used to be or anything else that we want to be. Like, yes, view yourself as these things, but make sure you're just viewing yourself as it. Make sure you're not acting like these things. Think like you're rich, but don't act like you're rich. So don't go blowing money that you don't have, but view yourself as, I am rich. Because the more you say something, the more you think about it, the more you're just gonna manifest it into your own life. But the thing is, that's only the first half of getting to where you really wanna be. The second half is actually doing the work that you need to do to get to the end goal that you wanna be. Whether that's going out, creating some content, knocking on some doors, cold calling some people, selling whatever it is, have that big goal as the second half. And the first half, really view yourself as you already have it. And the best thing I can tell you right now is you will not start off with your big thing. No one does. Like, look at Elon Musk. He did not start off at Tesla. He started off building some video games in his room. Or Jeff Bezos. Before Amazon, he was an investment banker. So just know that what you're doing right now isn't what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. But use what you're doing right now as essentially the foundation for what you want to end up doing later on in life. So although you're not going to start with your goal, you are going to experience a huge J curve by going through it the way that we're going over right now, by focusing on building for the future and having an inward ego, thinking long term and having something big to work towards. So thank you for making it to the end of the video. I really do appreciate you for that. If you want to be around more like-minded people who are working towards these things too, go ahead and join the Discord community where you get to talk with everyone else as well as me. Also subscribe to the newsletter, essentially week to week writes about this kind of stuff. And also go ahead and check out issafire.com. There's a bunch of free courses on there that will genuinely help you out if you're into this stuff. All these things are linked in the description. And with everything being said, again, I really do appreciate you for watching the video. With everything being said, have a good one. Bye-bye.